That's 858-880-4577 or visit nagarajhomes.com. Find the home that fits your future.
You're listening to Real Estate Roundup. Real Estate Roundup with Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah every Sunday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. PST on Volley 92.
Hello, Bay Area. Happy Sunday. I'm your host, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah. Today, joined by Tony, home from the CPA dude. Tony, welcome to the show.
Hey, Nagaraj. Excited to be back here again.
Yeah, listeners, I know a lot of people who are listening in, right? They always say, Nagaraj, I make too much money, but I pay too much of taxes too. How do I save taxes? Because everybody wants to save money, save tax, pay less to the IRS, right? Or in a right way, in a right way. How do we do that? That is where the show is all about. How does the real estate can help you to build your wealth? That is where the show is all about today. The listeners, if you have any questions on the real estate related or anything on the taxes related, do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92, 877 Bolly 92. So Tony, a lot of listeners calls me, or a lot of buyers calls me around, Nagaraj, I want to do an investment for a $1 million, $1.2 million. Correct. How they want a positive rent flow, positive cash flow by using a real estate. How can they make it happen? Because rents are going to be, even if you're doing a 20% down, rents can be just a $3,000, $2,800, correct? But how can they make using a tax, saving a taxes, right? Like they can make it a positive cash flow. Can we talk about that, Tony?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, that's one of my favorites. Is just like, yeah, we got to make a good investment. The big part is short-term rental loophole. If the listeners haven't heard about that before, but it's you're using it on Airbnb or your short-term VRBO, whatever website, but you jump through a couple hoops, and the depreciation is the magic here. I always say this is the ninth world wonder of the world.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you can get a bigger loss than what you paid for. So let's just take an example, $1 million house, possibly, it depends on the house, but $200,000 of a write-off that you can use to reduce your taxes. Now, if you're in the highest, bracket of the state, 37%, 13.3%, you're paying 50% in taxes. So, I know some components can't be, so let's just say 40% total effective rate. That means $80,000 of tax savings in year one. So that means you get an extra $80,000 of cash flow, however period long you're going to hold it for. So because you use the short-term rental loophole, you can save, $80,000 just using this, and it could fund most of your down payment and recoup that. But now the big, beautiful part is because it's Airbnb, you're using it as a big cash flow. That's much more higher cash flow than long-term or mid-term rentals. And so you're going to actually make money on top of it and go faster. So if you're concerned about cash flow strategy, they need to set up a call more with you because you know the strategy of how to generate more. So their strategy, just don't think, hey, I can't buy it. It's a long-term rental. Rent's only $4,000. My mortgage is $8,000. There's different strategies. You can use a mix of short-term, mix of mid-term, and get more in, or ADU, build a second ADU in the back for $250,000, and then that generates 4,000. So many different ways, but you have to have a lot of good strategy. I know you always mention like it's the big team, and that's actually one underlooked area that we help with like the clients that come to us, they don't have a good realtor like you. They don't have good strategy, and they're like, oh, I don't want to buy rentals. No, you just don't know the strategy yet on how to buy rentals.
Yeah, I think that's very well said, Tony. I think strategy is what makes a difference for you, right? Like, for example, we talked about it earlier also, is the both are on W2 or one on a W2 and another one is a 1099. One on W2 and one on 1099 is beautiful, right? Like basically you can become a qualify for rep by automatically and you can get it, do all this depreciation, bonus depreciation and everything. Cost
Yeah,
do the cost segregation. See, I'm becoming expert on this also right now.
I like
And
it.
do the
Yeah.
cost segregation study, and then basically you can write it off for if you're on a one on 1099. Otherwise, go to Airbnb, as you said, do the short-term rental loophole, and then you can qualify for it. My question is like, since you do it for 1 year now, let's do it for a 1 year. You do this all these write-offs, but the next year, correct? If you think about you're doing a major upgrades to the house,
Hmm.
okay, major upgrades to investment properties, will you be still able to write off all that, and how does that work?
Yeah, yeah. So if you're making big improvements to a property, because a lot of the strategy these days is
Mhm.
the experience that you provide to your guests. It's
Mhm.
just not having a beautiful home. The competition is very steep now. So it's the
Correct.
experience that you're putting in. So if you're going to remodel, we were in Orlando actually with the
Mhm.
team, and they had all these rooms. They're Disney themed actually. So it was a
Oh.
really cool experience when we brought our team there after the 415 crazy tax season.
Mhm.
So if you make all those improvements on year two, it's called an improvement study. It's just like a cost segregation study, but everything that you add in there, complete write-off. And the beautiful thing is you don't have to use complete cash to fund it. So let's
Mhm.
just say there's $300,000 of renovations. I was actually just talking to a guy, and he's going to buy Airbnb down in Coachella, and
Mhm.
they're going to add a paintball course, a paintball
Mhm.
gun course,
Mhm.
and they're just going to finance it with their HELOC on their
Mhm.
primary house. So they
Mhm.
take the money out of the HELOC, and
Mhm.
now they can go make a couple $100,000 renovation, get the full couple $100,000 write-off and only just pay back the HELOC, and the HELOC is really slow. So now you're arbitraging money again to save money on taxes.
See, first year you bought,
Yeah.
you do a depreciation cost segregation study. The next year you go, you do you're doing a major upgrades for the business. It might be you bought a residential or it might be a commercial. You did it all these upgrades, then you still can write off. So that way, it's basically you're growing both the things, right? You're growing your business and you're getting a costs tax savings also on top of it.
Yeah.
It's,
Yep.
I think American dream works out only when you're doing a businesses or when you're doing the right investments.
Hmm.
This is where the beauty comes in. The real estate can help you on it. You no need to do a big businesses. Real estate can help you out on this smaller investments because you do a 3 years like this one property, then after 3 years you can buy one more. Make a goal in next 10 years you're going to do buy a three real estate or a four real estate.
Yep. Exactly. One after one after, and that's how wealth is built. If you just do one per year, you're setting yourself up for the big future.
Yeah, I think this every 3 years, if you can plan one and you can plan it properly, as I said, keep saying just rental doesn't help you out. You need to plan around with the taxes. So that will help you out. Look for the potentials where you are buying in. And one more thing is like there was one more client was asking me out. For example, a lot of people, Asian families, right? Like they get the parents staying in there, they get a green card, and even the parents get a green card. So showing the parents as a dependents, will they help them out?
Yeah, and it can help them out. The big part, actually, how I like to use the parents in this
Mhm.
situation, because very similar, right?
Yeah.
Many,
No,
many
but one question step back. Like, for example, when they become a dependence, the parents become a dependence, do we file with together with the taxes or they file separate taxes?
Oh, so I wouldn't claim them as a dependent. What I would do instead is I
Mhm.
would use them as
Mhm.
labor for the property. I'm going
Mhm.
to pay them, and they're going to help out with the cleaning, the maintenance of the property.
Mhm.
Because the reason why is because let's just say you're in the 37% tax bracket federal,
Mhm.
and then they're only at the 10%. That's a
Mhm.
27% savings. You can
Mhm.
do $96,000 as a married joint couple,
Mhm.
and that's only at 12%. So you can shift $100,000 of property maintenance, cleaning, because cleaning fees each time a cleaner comes out to your house now is $400 or $500 easy.
Mhm.
So it can really add up throughout the whole year. So all these costs are legitimate tax deductions. You just know how to strategize on it. So I don't like to claim them as dependents. Instead, I
Mhm.
like to pay them for the work that they do because they're in a much lower income tax bracket. And I
Mhm.
want the listeners to think, don't think about it's your taxes, my mom and dad's taxes. It's our taxes. It's one big unit because it's taxpayers versus the government. So you want to see yourself as one big economic unit.
Yeah, that's very well said. Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and you're listening to the Real Estate Show. Today we are joined with the Tony Hong, the CPA Dude team. Like we are discussing about the tax saving strategies, how it can help you to build your real estate, build your wealth. If you have any questions, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92, 877 Bolly 92, Or we are live on a YouTube also right now, and you can leave your comments also so that we can take your questions and we can talk about it. That's very well said, Tony. Like the one is if the parents are on come here, you can employ them, pay them for your real estate things. Then basically you can write it off. And because since as you said, they are on the lower tax brackets, that's really go hand in hand. Like almost you save what 17% there or 27%.
27%. If you're 37% federal and they're 10%, 12%, you're making that delta. So and then you add in state
27,
taxes, even
27%
more,
is
right?
it's a huge 27% is a huge, I tell you.
Oh yeah, I mean people don't even get raises each year, 27%. So I mean you might as well just save it on your taxes. If your boss isn't going to give you that raise, might as well just force your raise by using the tax code.
Yeah. And one more thing is like since we're talking about more on this, now let's say they buy this, they do a depreciation, a bonus depreciation. Now they want to sell next year. How does that work? They need to pay back all this money, what they got the benefits, or how does that work now?
Yeah, if they sell it, and we always want to kick the can down the road, so
Mhm.
1031 exchange or opportunity zone. But if they don't want to, because some people are like, I need the money, that's
Mhm.
fine. What will happen is there's two taxes. First, there's depreciation recapture. And the
Mhm.
beauty of depreciation recapture, people are like, oh, I don't want to pay it back. Depreciation recapture, scary word. It's not that bad if you know what you're doing.
Mhm.
So depreciation recapture is only on all the depreciation you took up to 25%. So
Mhm.
if you're in the 37% bracket and you took that benefit last year at
Mhm.
37%, then you sell next year at 25%, you've erased 12% of gain from the depreciation. So you arbitrage 12% using tax code. So that's part one. Part two is just capital gains tax. So anything outside of that, you just pay capital gains tax. It's long term. So
Mhm.
it could be, 0, 15, 20, 23.8%, depending on your tax bracket.
And again, depends on what stages of their careers are there, right? Like sometimes if they're planning to retire, take a break for 1 year, they don't have an income that time.
Yeah.
So then maybe plan that time to sell it.
Yeah, exactly. Lower tax bracket that year because then you pay less. Maybe if you're in the 15% when you're normally in the 23.8, that's an 8.8% difference. So if you have a kid that year too, it's another good year to think about it.
Yeah.
So really plan and strategize to plan ahead. I always tell our clients it's the Ben Franklin quote. If you plan to fail, you fail to plan. So, it's just you have to do it. Yeah, just do some planning. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't take that long. A couple hours and you're good to go.
Okay. And I got one question, got a question on the email. Somebody saying that on 2024, they're paying a 300K on taxes. 300K on their taxes, but they bought a property, one of the property as a commercial property. Can they, since they bought a commercial property, can they use it as now this the same thing, if they had rented out for 1 or 2 months, will they be able to reduce it now? Or now what's the way they can go about it?
Oh yeah, no, it's good. If they qualify for real estate professional status, if
Mhm.
it's a couple and one person's a real estate professional status and they meet
Mhm.
those qualifications, making
Mhm.
sure they do, then you
Mhm.
can actually take the depreciation against their commercial property and
Mhm.
reduce the tax liability on that side. So assuming that they qualify and assuming that they make the grouping elections, then
Yeah.
yeah, that commercial property can reduce those taxes.
For that one, they need to do a cost segregation study. If they do the cost segregation study, then they should be able to, I think again depends on how much the property value is worth.
Yeah, exactly.
But as we discussed on that, like this year, if they're doing any renovation, still they will be able to reduce it because of the same thing. As you said, the renovation study we need to be doing in.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the beauty of like when it's an investment property and you're investing back into it, you're always going to get those write-offs. It's just a matter of when do you get that write-off.
Wow. Listeners, there's so many benefits out of there, but you need to use it as a right expert, tax expert who can help you out and that guide you. That is where the team makes a difference. Like realtor makes it because realtor needs to be knowing the knowledge and that the CPAs whom with you working. Because I've seen Tony, a lot of people have rental properties, but then they always go with a lazy 27 years of depreciations.
Too slow, too slow. Yeah. That's
Too
that's
slow.
missing the principle, compound interest, eighth world wonder of the world.
Yeah.
It's, you want to take the benefit today. If the classic finance question is, do you take a dollar today or a dollar tomorrow? You always take it today, right? Even if you get paid a little bit extra tomorrow. So always take advantage of that and speed it up. That's why the rich don't pay taxes, why Donald Trump doesn't pay taxes, right? It's why Robert Kiyosaki doesn't pay taxes. All these rich guys, girls, they just don't pay taxes because they're using depreciation as a Grant Cardone, right? He publicly yells that I don't pay taxes, right? So you have access to the same thing. It's not like they're smarter than you. You actually, the listeners are probably smarter than some of those people. They're just not using the game to their advantage.
And I think it all comes down to smart strategies,
Yeah. Hmm.
investment strategies. You
Hmm.
know, I think last year also, you helped a couple of my clients, right? Like I think you helped one client to almost reduce 400K on their taxes because they had did this bonus depreciation, means cost segregation with you. I remember he got benefit of all. He called me up and told me, Nagaraj, I almost saved 400K on that taxes.
Amazing. Yeah, that's
Your team
huge.
itself helped me out. Elder team helped me out, like to save almost that much, 400K. He was almost about to pay 400K on the taxes.
Oof.
But luckily, he had bought two properties and he was just able to do this segregation study, and he was able to reduce it.
Yeah.
So, but in case of you have a child now, right? Like you have a kid. For if they have a kid, how can they help them out on the one is the 401K investments? How can they basically your kid can help you out on reducing in your taxes also?
Oh yeah,
The
many ways.
dependent.
Yeah, we always, if the kid is helping out, and put them, one, you teach them the lesson of hard work and the value of the dollar. And then that in turn, you can pay them a reasonable amount. So, if you have let's just say, oh, you bring out your children, they're showing the houses with you, setting
Mhm,
up the signs, putting up the food, and or you bring them to the property and hey, we're gonna do some cleaning, some yard work. And say
mhm,
that's 8 hours of work that day because time flies like that.
mhm.
And the average market rate is probably at least $40 an hour these days for a handyman in the Bay. That's
Correct.
$320 you can pay them. And
Mhm,
then say you do that, once every weekend,
mhm,
right? We're at $1,200, over 12 months, that's 14 grand.
mhm,
And the beauty though, so you get a $14,000 write-off, whether it's on your business or your real estate,
mhm,
and then it goes to them because it's under the standard deduction, which is $15,000, $750, 15,750 this year. They
mhm,
pay zero in taxes.
mhm,
Now, if you wanted to elevate, go to the next level, now you can also put them on W-2. They can fund a Roth IRA and then put that money into a Roth IRA. They'll grow tax free. And then when they take it out, it's all tax free also. And
mhm.
that's how trust fund babies are born.
No, I think there's one more question on this. See, there are kids under 18 and after 18. Okay.
Yeah.
If
Mhm.
it's 18 and they're going to college, can we hire them for all doing this, the works, whatever you said, for maintaining these properties and everything, and we can pay them? Since they're in the lower tax bracket, the same thing which apply for the parents, even for the kid over the 18, can they qualify for it, right?
Yeah, over 18, they'll be able to qualify. They'll just be subject to Social Security and Medicare taxes at that point. Kids under 18 don't have to pay Social Security and Medicare taxes.
Okay, the same strategy what applied for the parents, it can apply here also.
Yeah, exactly. So I always joke and say it's the parents, it's the kids, the broke brother, sister, or the broke friends. Whoever's in a lower income tax bracket than you
Mhm,
income should be like, hey man, you got to work. Let me do you a favor here. Just
mhm.
help me out and I'll pay you. And your life will be much better than working at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's better. That's a lot better. I think a lot of people doesn't understand the value of doing a business with you, right? Like they're okay to go work for a something low paying jobs, but but
Yeah.
listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and I'm talking to Tony Hong, the CPA dude. If you have any questions, do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92, 877 Bolly 92, and we are live on a YouTube also. Tony, if some new clients come to you and they've heard this show, what are the benefits? Like, are they getting any like incentives, or like are you giving any free consultations for them? How does that work if somebody wants to set up a free consultation with you?
Oh yeah, so any listeners of this show, we got a bonus on this right now. So if you book a call our team, go.thecpadude.com. Once again, that's go.thecpadude.com.
Mhm.
Mention Nagaraj. It's this special is only all good for Nagaraj. Or else no one else gets this. Is that you'll get an extra period off of your membership when you sign up with us. And then our memberships at least $500 a month. Some go up to $2,000 a month. So you come in, mention your name, you're gonna get that first month free on that side. And then right now too, we have this special where you come in and it's our tax savings blueprint. And either we find you $3,000 or we refund you in full. So there's no risk to even work with us right now. We'll tell you to it straight whether, hey, we can save you money. If not, we will tell you we cannot save you any money.
Okay. So basically, on one more scenario, I think before going to that, I think let's complete this one. You said if somebody comes to you, you do a study of the last 2 years tax returns, and you say that you can save more money or not.
Yeah, we'll look at their 3 years and this
Mhm.
year, what their plans are going to be.
Uh-huh.
Draft up a whole blueprint, just like you don't build a house without a blueprint, you don't file taxes without a tax plan.
Mhm.
Either we'll find $3,000 in savings. We generally find at least 20,000. So,
Mhm.
or if we don't literally find nothing, we'll just refund you the full 3,000.
Wow. Okay, that's good one. Like, and you get a, again, if they get a almost like if they use the coupon Nagraj, they get 10% reduction or 5% for all our
Oh,
listeners.
they'll get the full first month. They'll be the first full month membership is free. So they'll get that. That's at least, minimum 500. Some people up to $2,000 on a membership per month. So they mention your name, they'll get at least 500 to $2,000 off.
So Nagraj is a keyword for them.
Yeah, yeah. You have to mention Nagaraj, otherwise you're not getting the deal. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, listeners, set up a free consultation with the CPA dude and see how can they help you out on your taxes, because it's very important to understand how much you're paying in. I made the mistakes initially also, then I realized with whom you're working is really matters, because you have a rental properties or you're planning to buy the rental properties in the future, how that can go hand in hand, and real estate can help in to reduce on your taxes. As I said in the initially in the show, you should plan for next 10 years, maybe three properties or four properties every 3 years, every 2 years, so that you can keep adding on to it, your portfolio, and that is where you build your generational wealth.
Yeah,
I think that,
exactly.
and we are doing a real estate connect event this year. The Tony is also, Tony and his team will be there, and they'll come and talk about all this. You can meet them in person also. This is happening on December 13th. December 13th, happening at ICC Milipitas. Don't miss out. Go to nagrajhomes.com to register it. You can meet a tax professionals like Tony. You can meet a mortgage experts in there. You can meet attorneys also. Everybody, and even you can meet even the contractors there. So it's a one place where you can meet all the experts. Where do you get this, Tony? All these people to meet at one place for free. That also.
Oh, that's gonna be amazing. I blocked it. You sent that out. I was like, oh, boom. My whole calendar is gone for that day. I'm super excited. Yeah, Eldar told me about how fun it was last year and I missed out. So I'm like, dang, I have to go this year.
Yeah, all these experts will be there. So go to nagrajhomes.com and register for this event. It's a free event, and there's also paid event also. You can register paid, which comes with a lunch and other things also. You can register free, or if you want just lunch also, you can register for it. Go to nagrajhomes.com and register for this event also. Tony, so if somebody wants to set up a free consultation with you, how do they do about it, Tony?
Yeah, just go to our website, go.thecpadude.com. And once again, that's go.thecpadude.com. And then if you forget that, our Instagram's the CPA dude. And then if you also want to text us, 254 CPA dude, 254 CPA dude.
And don't forget the keyword or the mention my name, so that way you can get almost a 1 month of subscription for free.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, Crush, make sure you mention that. Otherwise, you're losing out. I won't remember. Yeah.
So listeners, I have a couple of listings coming up in Sunnyvale, Fremont, and if somebody is interested to, and I have a 750K couple of homes in San Jose also, because as Tony was mentioning, like how do you buy these investment properties under $1 million and how you can use it. If you would like to know more about these properties also, and if you're planning to sell your current house also, and I think as Tony mentioned, yeah, thank you so much. I think we're running out of time, Tony, but we'll talk to you soon, all the listeners. Have a